for his rally. And I thought, okay, well, it's about 5 o'clock. He should be Eastern time. He should be coming on. He should be coming on. So I thought, okay, right after VP, right after his VP selection, that is JD Vance. I thought, okay, he's going to be it. Nope. Then he had Laura and Eric Trump. He didn't come on after that. Then he had Don Trump Jr. Then he had the UFC CEO Dana White, and still no Trump. Then he had Howard Lutnick, still no Trump. I'm like, who is he? And Howard Lutnick, by the way, he is the CEO for Cantor Fitzgerald. And at that Trump rally during his speech, he said, we must crush jihad. Wow, what a statement, because people are so afraid to say that anymore. So afraid to call out Islamic terrorism and jihad, and the fact that they actually want to perpetrate that against Americans still. But anyway, even after Howard Lutnick, I thought, okay, it's got to be Trump, right? Nope. Then it was Elon Musk. I thought, okay, surely this is the top of the list. Elon Musk, and then we're going to hear from Trump. No, Melania. Melania came out, did a great job. And then it was Trump on stage, of course, to Lee Greenwood's Proud to Be an American. That's always his entrance speech or entrance song at this time. Anyways, it was absolutely fantastic. Just what a pleasure. And you know what? We've got a caller on the line who's at the Trump rally right now. Larisa, how's it going?
Hey, Jeannie. Well, I've got apparently one of the hottest tickets in the town, and I'm just super thankful for the opportunity to be here. I don't know if you saw, I was looking on Twitter, and so there's 19, it's at Madison Square Garden's at capacity of like 19,500, and the NYPD is reporting there's 75,000 people outside. And Don Jr. had said at one point during his remarks that there was over 200,000 people that tried to get a ticket. So I feel pretty special to be here. I got out there at 9 a.m. and I was still maybe an hour too late to be in the very front, but it was amazing. And it's just a great energy. I can't thank you enough for letting me get out here.
Well, I'm happy to do it. And by the way, she got a VIP ticket, courteous of a friend of mine, Dennis Asensio, who's another DuPage guy, and he happened to have a couple VIP tickets, offered it to me, but I couldn't go, so I gave it to Larisa. So happy that you're there. You've been such a stalwart Trumper. It's just terrific.
God.
And how about the crowd? The energy is, I imagine it's amazing.
Oh, yeah, everybody. I mean, every time I meet somebody and ask them where they're from, a lot of people are from New York. I'm just going to get out because I don't want to be taught. We're in a suite, very lovely, terrific, amazing suite on Madison Square Garden, 7th floor. So it's pretty cool. So I don't want to be talking too much next to my suite mates. But, yeah, you can just talk to anybody. Like the Trump rallies are perfect places to meet. You just start talking. I ask them people usually where they're from, and then we start comparing stories. Everybody I've met is either from New York, or California, or Illinois, or like all these horrible blue states. And here we are, at our chart. Oh no, you go ahead. Yeah, sorry. And apparently somebody behind me in line, when we were coming up to the suite, they said on the escalator up behind them was Rod Blagojevich. They said, "Oh, one of your other horrible governors."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I don't know.
I'm not a fan. I know people are a fan. I'm not a fan at all. But just one other question here. I mean, I was listening to the Kamala Harris rally that she had in Houston, and she got booed off and on for a good 10 minutes. You're not hearing any of that there, I imagine.
But that's because she promised like Beyonce concert or something like that.
Yes.
And didn't deliver. Oh no, there's no booing. I could probably go over here within any 2 seconds here, applause. In fact, one of his greatest, I think, applause lines was when he said, when he was talking about, well, his talking points are always like, what was one of them? When he talks about immigration, illegal immigration, crime, and he said one of the first things he'll do is invoke the alien, oh my gosh, I can't read my own writing. I was trying to write it down. Alien Act of
Sedition.
1798.
Yeah, 1798, right, yes.
Yeah, and he said, I will make the death penalty. It'll be the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American. And that got a humongous applause. I'm trying to look at. I was trying to write some things down. He's great. I mean, he just kind of goes off the prompter a lot and says, "Isn't it great? Like, you don't need a president. You have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter." He's like, because you'd love to see Kamala do any of this. She can't do it. I don't know if it's Kamala. I know we always
We
talk about that.
Yeah.
But you know how her teleprompter went down, and all she could say was 32 days, 32 days, 32 days.
She's a disaster compared to Trump. And, the thing about it is I did play his opening before you came on, and it's really all about the American people. And Harris's rally, and literally at Harris's rally on the Jumbotron behind her, the whole thing was freedom for reproductive rights. Freedom of reproductive rights. Her entire Houston rally was only on that topic. And I'm going to play some clips a little bit later in my show and talk to you all about that. But Larisa, I'll let you get back to the fun out there in New York City. You have a great time, and we'll see you tomorrow back in, boring Wheaton headquarters.
Yes, no problem. Thank you. Thank you for a great historic experience. Thanks, Jeannie.
You're welcome. Have fun out there.
Right.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Terrific.
Bye.
Okay, we're gonna go to break because I've got a guest that's coming on, and we're gonna talk about things. There you go again. Illinois is under another lawsuit, this time by the Pacific Legal Foundation, for obviously doing their DEI minority scholarship program. They've been doing it since 1992. Well, now people have had enough of it. DEI is a failure. People know it's a failure, and not only that, it is absolutely against our American principles. So we'll be right back here with Samantha Romero from the Pacific Legal Foundation.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Blue Star Security, Papa Nicholas Coffee, and by the Alpha Wealth Group.
Hut, listen up and listen up good. If you're tired of run-of-the-mill gifts, then get on over to aviatorfuel.com. You'll find unique military-style cocktail books and barware to go with it. At aviatorfuel.com, we've got the perfect gift for any soldier, sailor, Marine, or just red-blooded American. You'll especially love our military cocktail checklists, modeled off the real Army, Navy, and Marine pilot checklists that military aviators have used for decades. These award-winning books are authentic replicas, but instead of a procedure on how to handle an engine fire, you'll find the procedure for how to make a mojito, written with military jargon throughout. So pick up a cocktail checklist from aviatorfuel.com. Invite some old friends to share war stories over cocktails. Your perfect libation is inside the cocktail checklist. And don't forget matching military-themed barware. Go to aviatorfuel.com and get ready to raise a glass to the brave men and women who serve our country. That's aviatorfuel.com.
Kids headed to college? Paying for college and avoiding student loan debt has never been more challenging. Hi, I'm attorney Ray Kaplan from Kaplan Law Firm. Our student loan consultants will help you plan smarter for college by navigating and understanding all available student loan options. Schedule a consultation today at 312-294-8989 or go to financialrelief.com. The rules around student loans have never been as complex as they are today. Kaplan Law Firm, 25 East Washington Street, Chicago. Financialrelief.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It's really quite extraordinary, and I'm 68 years old, and I've always been very, very active. My weight is a very good weight. I take care of my home all by myself. I have an acre of land. I'm so sold on this product, I can't tell you.
We love the Balance of Nature. Has been amazing. I keep seeing the ad for it, and I'm like, you know what? It wouldn't hurt to have more fiber. I don't know. We just feel better.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Turks and Caicos, and much more. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both be sharing insights into current events in a way I hope energizes and challenges you. Secure your spot before space runs out by calling 855-565-5519 or book online at pragercruise.com.
We now return to The Real Story. Here's your host, Jeannie Ives.
Okay, welcome back. Thanks for joining me tonight on this Sunday night. Don't turn the channel here. Don't turn on the Trump rally. Nope. Stay right here because we got a lot of important stuff to discuss. Mainly in regards to things that are happening in Illinois, things that Illinoisans should be concerned about, and things that you maybe should make up your mind about whether or not you want to vote for this stuff. And one of those, of course, is all of the divisiveness that they have added into just about everything that we do in the state. Of course, minority business practices are a big deal, something that the legislature is always weighing in about, always asking questions about, always about asking. In fact, I watched the universities testify in front of the House Committee on Higher Education, and every single one of those university presidents were not asked about completion rates. They were not asked about affordability. They were not asked about federal grants. They were not asked about anything really significant. Oh, maybe like what's your sexual assault proclivity on your campus. Nothing important. Nothing important. They were asked, what's your minority business spend? It's all minority all the time in this state. And I honestly, quite frankly, people are sick of it. The latest is also from USA Today. This was an opinion piece by Neetu Arnold, and it's University of Michigan spent millions on DEI efforts. They failed miserably. He wrote that the divisive, extreme, and intolerant, that's what diversity, equity, inclusion efforts have become. And conservatives are no longer the only skeptics. The New York Times this month uncovered that the University of Michigan's programs to promote supposed diversity and inclusion at a cost of about $250 million since 2016 instead fueled campus discord. That's right. They're not working. They're not working anywhere. But you know what? The state of Illinois is still all in about it. All in. And in fact, but now they're getting, you know what? They're getting their comeuppance a little bit. But let's go back just a little bit in time. Western Illinois faces a federal complaint regarding scholarships. This is from the Center Square, March 1st, 2024. Western Illinois University is the subject of federal civil rights complaint about scholarships. Cornell University law professor William Jacobson is the founder of the Equal Protection Project, or equalprotect.org, which claims that 16 scholarships at Western Illinois are discriminatory. Some of these are scholarships which are open to only certain races, certain ethnicities, and in some cases, certain genders and certain gender identities. Well, here you go. Fast forward only a few months later, and now Illinois is facing another lawsuit, this time from the Pacific Legal Foundation. And joining me right now on my program is Samantha Romero. She's an attorney with the Pacific Legal Foundation. They just teed up a lawsuit against the University of Illinois, against Illinois itself. And I believe Governor Pritzker is also involved or named in the lawsuit. And it's about their minority teaching scholarship program. Samantha, thanks so much for joining me tonight and explaining this a little bit more.
Sure thing. Thank you for having me.
So why don't we just start with give us the basis of the lawsuit and let me know whether or not Illinois is the only state that you've been suing over these.
Of course. So there is a scholarship program in Illinois. As you said, it's the Minority Teachers Scholarship Program. We've brought this case on behalf of American Alliance for Equal Rights. It's a group that's dedicated to challenging racist government actions. So this program, it was created in 1992, and it was intended to encourage talented Illinois minority students to become teachers. As I'm sure many of your listeners know, Illinois is facing a worsening teacher shortage. 90% of Illinois schools are reporting serious or very serious teacher shortages. So obviously the state is in desperate need of more teachers. But instead of creating a rather robust teacher pipeline, what it appears the government decided to do was to basically arbitrarily narrow that pipeline and then favor or disfavor people and applicants based on their race. We have a member of the Alliance who would otherwise totally qualify for every other every other criteria. So, you've got residency requirements, you have academic requirements, and she meets all of those. But the problem is the government has decided that they don't like the way that she looks.
Oh boy. Okay. In that regard, what are those eligibility requirements?
Sure. So one is you must be, an Illinois student. You are required to be gaining your high school diploma from an Illinois high school. You have to maintain a cumulative grade point average, no less than 2.5 on a 4.0 scale. And then you also have to be enrolled or accepted at least on a half-time basis to an Illinois Institute of Higher Learning. And then you have to be, enrolled in a program that will contribute to you becoming a teacher.
Okay, so I just pulled up the requirements too. So they say specifically you have to be a minority student of either African American, Black, Hispanic American, Asian American, or Native American origin, or a qualified bilingual minority applicant. So could you be white and be a qualified bilingual minority applicant?
From our understanding of the statute, no, because you still must be considered a minority.
Aha, that's the key
and
there.
And they've only identified those ethnic groups as minorities.
Well, are they leaving out any ethnic groups when they do this? I mean, how about an
really
Indian American? Not Native American, but well, I guess maybe that'd be Asian American.
The Asian, probably. So, what they have defined further what qualifies as an American Indian, but notably missing, and some people might consider this white, some people may not, is Middle Easterners. And see, that's kind of the problem. I think that we kind of want to push back a little bit on the current coverage that the issue that PLF and AAER has with this program is that it just favors white applicants. The real core issue here is that the government is engaging in plantation logic by imposing these categories on individuals who may or may not, identify as such, or maybe of mixed ancestry.
Well, it also says that you don't even have to just be a U.S. citizen. You can be an undocumented student and still qualify for this scholarship, and it's extremely profitable. It's $7,500 a year for 4 years. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
It's not. And I also was reading that it doesn't matter what school you go to. You could go to a private school and you could still be eligible for the scholarship. So it's broader than just our public universities.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So is this commonplace though in higher education? Is this something that you've seen in other states?
We haven't seen something quite like this specifically, but we have been noticing a number of other sort of racial preferences given when it comes to, say, serving on public boards. So, you're in someone's state, there could be a public board for, say, dentistry, right? Or the medical board. And there are states where they require that certain set-asides be given to racial groups.
Well, I mean, we have the beginnings of that in that they wanted all corporate boards, and I'm even talking about private corporations to identify what the racial makeup is of their corporate board. So we're on the throes of doing that, of requiring that, and we certainly have required that in particular on particular task force, for example. And I can think that I think we've had that on other boards as well. But you're saying that you essentially don't know of another state that has this specific of an outreach or this specific of a benefit to a minority class.
We're not tracking that at this moment.
Okay.
There definitely could be. And so if anyone is aware of that, we'd love if they could come to our website and give us a heads up on whether or not that's happening in their state.
Well, what about this other lawsuit? And I know that there's, Jacobson's group is doing it instead, but Western Illinois was already outed, 7 months ago. For having the same problem with having a specific Western Illinois University scholarship for minorities only.
I'm not as familiar with that one. Is Western Illinois University, is that a public?
Yes, it is. It's one of our public
institutions,
and it's suffering. It's really, it's losing population, and I was just in Macomb, where Western Illinois University is located, just last week, and they had Save WIU signs out in people's yards. So they're very, very concerned about that university going under. which
that's really unfortunate. And it seems like that would be definitely an unconstitutional, preference to different racial groups.
So what's the next step in your lawsuit?
So the next step in our lawsuit is to wait for a response from the government. As you mentioned, we have served Governor Pritzker, and then we've also served the administrator of the program. They have 21 days to give their response since we filed our complaint, and then we go from there. And
what do you predict the outcome will be? I mean, or where do you think this will go? And I imagine you filed this in federal court because you can't file it in state courts and get a fair hearing in this state.
We filed in federal court because everything that we had claimed was a federal was a federal law. This is blatantly unconstitutional. There are only a very few number of reasons that the government can impose these sorts of racial classifications, and Illinois has no reason. None of those reasons will be able to be proven here. So they will lose, and it's just a matter of time before they admit it.
Okay, and so the Supreme Court obviously struck down race-based admissions. They did that about a year or two ago. Is this the next step to taking out this idea that we're going to have affirmative action ad nauseum, or is this lawsuit part of that same effort, or are they completely separate issues? Is race-based admissions okay, but this isn't, but minority scholarships aren't okay, or is it all not okay?
It's all not okay. Mm-hmm. In the case of something like this, what they might try to argue is that they're trying to remediate specific identified instances of discrimination, previous discrimination, because since the Supreme Court had that ruling against the affirmative action at admissions, like I mentioned, there are fewer and fewer reasons that the government can actually do this. So it is kind of the next step, but we're going to fairly argue that this doesn't even meet a remediation of past discrimination either.
Well, that's absolutely right, and in fact, I can prove to you that the bulk of the folks who are getting actual free education at our public universities are mainly minority poor students. And 40% of them at, for example, UIC pay $4,000 or less for the entire year that they go there. And at NIU, Northern Illinois University, 46% of those students pay nothing for universities. They don't need the scholarship, by the way. They don't need it, is my point. Hey, Samantha, I have a hard break. I want to thank you so much for coming on. Pacific Legal Foundation is where you can find her and where you can help their cause. Thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Willows Academy, Senior Helpers of Naperville, and by the Illinois Family Institute.
Carrick, former President Trump, speaking at New York City's Madison Square Garden. Fox's Aisha Hasni is there.
This event here in Madison Square Garden will be basically the former president kicking off his final pitch to the American people as he chips away at the Democrats' hold on this city.
Also on stage in New York, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and J.D. Vance. Vice President Kamala Harris in Philadelphia commenting on the Israel-Hamas war.
We can and we must seize this opportunity to end this war and bring the hostages home.
The latest Fox News poll showing former President Trump with a 2-point lead over Vice President Harris nationally. Election Day now less than 10 days away. America is listening to Fox News.
Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. Imagine 9 days basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise in the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Aruba, and more. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both be sharing insights into current events in a way I hope energizes and challenges you. Secure your spot before spaces run out by calling 855-565-5519 or online at pragercruise.com.
Your local State Farm agent Anthony DeGrotto combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. You can combine your home, auto, and life insurance to not only save you money, but give you the peace of mind you've been looking for. Anthony DeGrotto is your go-to agent in Chicagoland. He and his team will work for you to provide the best service you expect at the price you want. Combine your home, auto, and life insurance today. Anthony DeGrotto will help you mix and match things perfectly. His State Farm office is a top pick 2024 Daily Herald Reader's Choice Award winner. He's a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers and like-minded as you. His State Farm agency is currently looking to add members at their Roselle office. Call Anthony at 847-895-1500 today or visit DeGrottoSF.com. That's DeGrottoSF.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gave Alice, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Hi, this is Carl Amari.
I'm Lisa Wolf. Join us every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. for all things entertainment on Hollywood 360.
If you love classic radio shows, The Shadow, Jack Benny, The Lone Ranger, Dragnet, Gunsmoke, and many more, we have them for you on Hollywood 360.
We'll also present trivia contests with prizes, showbiz news, celebrity interviews, games, and movie reviews.
So don't miss Hollywood 360 every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
The Real Story with Jeannie Ives continues on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. It is The Real Story with Jeannie Ives, and the phone number here is 312-642-5600. I've got lots of time in this next half hour to take your calls and answer any questions you might have, because it's just going to be me, and I've got a few good clips to share with you from. First, let's listen to Kamala's Houston rally, which was probably the most offensive rally I've ever seen. And I'm not talking about word salad. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm just simply talking about the subject matter. Freedom of reproductive rights on the Jumbotron behind her, flashing in all sorts of different ways, through all sorts of different schematics and graphics. Freedom of reproductive rights. The entire rally was around reproductive rights, and there was a bunch of lies that were told. And she had the celebrities out there. She had Jessica Alba there. You know, Jessica talking about, the child tax credit and all this other stuff. And then, of course, this little rant that she had.
So let's hear it, Houston. We are not going back. We are not going back. Woo! Not going back. Not going back.
What do they even mean by that? What do they even mean? Not going back. Are you kidding me? Most of the country wants to go back. At least 4 years. They want to go back to where they didn't have, inflation was under control, less than 2%, where we didn't have 10 million illegals that had flooded into America, where crime was less of a problem, despite what the FBI wants to do when they lie about their statistics. Guess what? America does want to go back. Lower gas prices, world peace. Yeah, we do. We want to go back. We do. We want to go back 4 years. So this is completely false. But it was even more despicable because you have Kamala Harris lying about abortion, lying about it. Here's one example. This is an Arizona woman who had an abortion.
Tonight, really quickly, I'm just here to tell you a little bit about my story. In October of 2021, 2 weeks after my husband left for deployment, I actually found out I was 4 weeks pregnant. But very quickly, we figured out that there was something wrong. And after 3 weeks of medical tests, blood tests, ultrasounds, and everything in between, my doctor told me that I had an ectopic pregnancy at 7 weeks. My ectopic pregnancy was in my left fallopian tube, and if left untreated, it could burst and lead me to need emergency surgery. But luckily, I was able to go into the hospital the next day and get a methotrexate shot and begin to heal. However, few months later, 6 or 7 months later, the Supreme Court that was hand-picked by Donald Trump overruled Roe v. Wade. Access to a safe and quick abortion was what saved my life and preserved my fertility, and now those very same protections were gone.
Oh, what a lie. Oh, what a lie. Ectopic pregnancies are always handled medically, and it doesn't matter what state you live in. You could live in the most conservative state that has a 6-week abortion ban, for example. They're going to take an ectopic pregnancy. That pregnancy is not viable. That pregnancy is a threat to a mother's life.
And
they
that's
are
also,
always going to.
That's what was done before Roe versus Wade.
I know. This is such a joke. Roe v. Wade had nothing to do with it, and Roe v. Wade did nothing when it was overturned. That is the biggest lie ever. She's lying to you.
Speaking of dishonesty, we'll go with some intellectual dishonesty. The phrase, I was able to get a methotrexone shot and start to heal is one hell of a way to say we ended the pregnancy. Like, why can't you just say, and then I was able to get an abortion? You could tell, like, even in the subliminal text, they're not willing to say what's out loud.
Right, and plenty of women. In fact, the other big lie is actually abortions are on the increase since Roe v. Wade, on the increase. So explain to me how Roe v. Wade was a big, bust for the abortion industry. It wasn't. What a joke! But that is a lie. You will always be treated for an ectopic pregnancy. It is one of the major things that we talk about. It's life-saving. We on the pro-life side. Such a lie. And people are buying this BS. Here's another lie.
You're looking at a mother that is broken.
How many more women will have to die? This is the result of what happens when you try to control a woman's body.
My daughter is gone because of what Donald Trump did. She would be here had they helped her. You denied my daughter.
When I looked in her eyes, she looked weak. She was in pain. She was hurting.
And she started saying, I want y'all to work together to take care of Messiah.
Kamala Harris will make sure not one more family goes through what we're going through now.
Okay, that's another lie. Kamala Harris cannot solve for this problem. She never would have been able to solve for that problem. And what you just heard were Amber Thurman's mother and sisters in that little, video clip that they played at Harris's rally in Houston, all about freedom for reproductive rights. But that wouldn't have solved any bit of Amber Thurman's problems. In fact, Amber Thurman was killed by the abortion industry. She was killed by the abortion industry. This is all such a lie. Writing in the Federalist, Monique Wilberhurst and Mary Holland Fiorito, who I have had on my show before. She's in Illinois and she's a friend. And Monique Wilberhurst is actually a OB-GYN doctor who I've met in person. And they wrote in the Federalist about Amber Thurman died from the abortion pill, not pro-life laws. 100% right. And in their writing, they say it's worth noting that the FDA's 2000 approval of mifepristone acknowledged its risks and enacted safety requirements, including a 7-week gestational limit requiring women to see a physician in person and a mandatory one-time post-abortion appointment to confirm that the uterus was empty and that bleeding had subsided. The FDA also required manufacturers of the abortion pill to report all adverse health events that were reported to them, such as infection or excessive bleeding, not just patient deaths. But thanks to Democrat efforts to relax safety requirements for abortion pills, important safeguards no longer apply. When Thurman experienced complications from the abortion, which she went to the hospital for a D&C. Thurman had told doctors her miscarriage was not spontaneous. It was a result of taking pills to terminate her pregnancy. Thurman was not experiencing miscarriage. She had undergone an abortion. Her unborn twins had already died, and she had retained parts in their bodies or the placenta, a known complication of the abortion pill use, and one of the very reasons for the FDA's requirement for a post-abortion follow-up with a doctor. All of that was ignored. All of that was ignored by Georgia. All of that was ignored by Planned Parenthood or wherever she got her abortion. They killed her. They killed her. And Kamala Harris has those guys up on stage playing that it's tragic. It's awful. But it's such a lie. It's all such a lie. The other big lie? Oh, Beyonce's going to perform. Why don't you come to the Kamala Harris rally because Beyonce's going to perform. But I mean, it's not true. It's not true. New York Post. Kamala Harris mocked after Beyonce fails to perform at her Texas rally. Baited people with a free concert. It was the best thing they never had. After rumors swirled that Beyonce would perform at Vice President Kamala Harris's rally in Houston on Friday, fans were let down after the superstar failed to put on a show for the crowd of 30,000. Instead, the 43-year-old Texas Hold'em singer, a native of Lone Star State, delivered a speech at Harris's event in which she endorsed the Veep in the 2004 presidential election. Oh, so let me get this straight. Oh, there were so many Twitter posts on X. So let me get this straight. Kamala Harris baited people with a free Beyonce concert and then had Willie Nelson perform. Talk about a bunch of pissed off concert goers.
That's a downgrade if you're a Beyonce fan.
Yeah. He's 91 years old, and he performed for the crowd instead, and it was pathetic. I actually watched part of it. It was just pathetic.
Half that crowd probably thought he was Joe Biden.
Okay, the other pathetic thing about the Houston rally, Kamala was completely booed and mocked. Listen to this. Oh, that's angry Kamala. Angry Kamala. Listen on.
There's a war chance going on there.
There's a war chance, yes.
And in America, we know freedom is not to be given. It is not to be bestowed. It is ours by right, and we are prepared to fight for it. Because we understand the stakes.
Do you hear the booing?
We must be loud, we must organize, we must mobilize, we must energize.
Well,
because you all know, Texas is home to one of the most restrictive abortion bans in our country. In Texas, abortion is banned from the moment of conception.
It was a total disaster. She couldn't get a word in edgewise. You had heckles going back and forth. And in fact, again, another report on this, Vice President Kamala Harris was reportedly heckled and booed by several Donald Trump supporters who crashed her rally on Friday. The current Democratic candidate was there in part of the final stretch. Anyway,
They also wanted to see a Beyonce concert.
Yeah, they all, of course they did. Well, I guess, you know.
Just for clarity, too, all of those clips that you've played here in this segment are from the same video of the same event from ABC News.
Yes.
Their sound mix was perfect for the first part of the event. Once the crowd started booing and became louder than the PA system, their sound mix was all off. That's why it sounds like she's echoey in the background. That's how loud the crowd got when they got upset at her.
Yeah, it wasn't just a onesie or twosie. She was heckled bad in Texas. It was great. All right, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with more.
Life takes a toll on our bodies. No way around it. Whether it's sitting hours on end at your computer or working a physical job, over time your body pays the price. There is, however, an effective way to turn back the clock on pain, Relief Factor. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. The difference? Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pains that come with living a full life are affecting you, do as so many others have. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. When you feel good, it's amazing how much more you get out of life. So visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Try it for only $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain. Turn back the clock with Relief Factor.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
61 years old. I'm doing my first bodybuilding show. I'm going to go straight to a national event. Well, I was a power lifter all my life, and I just lucky a year ago met Mr. Michigan and Mr. Olympia, and they asked me what I was doing, and next thing you know, I'm 4 weeks away from my first on-stage show. I've been taking the Balance of Nature for a long time. It's been incredible.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. There once was a day when the public schools were seen as crucial engines of democracy and incubators of civic character essential to America's future. Well, those days are gone. Today, the public schools are usually light years away from that vision. They operate on rules and best practices that combine educational failure with ideological capture. It's a disaster. God bless those teachers, administrators, and school board members who continue to fight against the tide, but the tide's going to win. The foundational problem is government's monopoly on education. Your tax monies are confiscated for a hideously expensive public school system that subverts your moral convictions and, by the way, often fails to educate students. You have the right to look for a way to end that government monopoly. Parental choice represents one powerful way to push back on that government monopoly. In the state of Kentucky, voters face an opportunity to push back by voting for Amendment 2. I'm hoping they do. It's time to break the monopoly and support parents and families.
Now, more of The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
Welcome back. It is The Real Story. Thank you for joining me this Sunday night. The phone number here, 312-642-5600. We're going to go right away to the phones. Let's listen to Terry from Rogers Park. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining me.
Kamala's "We Won't Come Back" sounds like a threat of anything she can think of, like Trump's an Adolf Hitler admirer.
Well, that's what they're trying to make him into. There's no doubt about it, but it's absolutely backfiring. And Mark Levin had a really good program on Life, Liberty, and Levin, and where he really actually honed in about exactly who Adolf Hitler is and the destruction that the Nazis did. And I don't know. Have you ever been to Dachau? I have. I've been there 3 times. It's very unsettling. And for somebody to call somebody Hitler is just beyond the pale. I mean, and certainly Trump doesn't deserve it. If anybody has been a dictator, and I'm not even calling them Hitler, but basically a dictator, basically somebody who has really run things lawlessly, it is the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, the things that they've done to pro-lifers, the stuff that they've done to, like, even vax mandates on military folks. I mean, all of this stuff, the lockdowns, just going after Trump, 4 different lawsuits, all of those are going to get tossed. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're going after their political opponents. These people are the dictators. These people don't want the freedom. These people want to tell you what car you can drive, that you can't have a gas stove. These guys are the most limiting folks either. And then, I mean, of all things, and I wrote about this in my Sunday newsletter, and maybe you missed it, but don't miss another one. Sign up for my newsletter at breakthrough-ideas.com. And I wrote extensively about, look, there's a myriad of different issues you may actually decide who you're going to vote for in this election on. There's a ton of them. But you know what? I wrote about student loan bailouts. Student loan bailouts, they have to be one of the most, insulting things to do to other people is to make them pay off somebody else's personal debt. Student loans are a personal debt. That's what they are. And by the way, most of the student loan debt is held by people who have gotten masters or PhDs. You think I want to pay off their debt? No way. How about the construction worker? No way. How about the people who sacrificed and did without for a long time to pay off their student loan debt? No way. This is so insulting to force me to pay off somebody else's student loan debt. And Biden was back at it again. This time he wants to relieve the debt of over 8 million people. He already did. He already's gotten away with it, by the way. He loosened up the rules enough to bail out 5 million people to a tune of $175 billion with these fake public service loan forgiveness stuff. Oh, so you go work for a nonprofit. That nonprofit could be, oh, by the way, somebody associated with the abortion industry. You go work for a nonprofit and you can get your debt. Oh, it's got to be the right nonprofit, by the way, the right one. It probably can't be mine. Breakthrough Ideas couldn't be there. No, the right nonprofit, you go work for them and we'll forgive your student debt. Hell no. I'm so offended by that policy that the fact that they're trying it now for the third time is reason enough to say, no way am I voting for Kamala Harris.
And
no
even
way.
if you're somebody who favors the idea of the government just forgiving people's student loans, you run into the same moral hazard as you do at the border, right? You're not solving the problem. You're addressing a symptom.
That's right.
So you're just signing yourself up to keep addressing the same symptom again.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, George, and I added that in too in my commentary, and I'll put up on my website sometime this week when I get around to it. But that's exactly right. You're treating a symptom of a much larger problem. The problem is that our higher education system is all out of whack. Crazily out of whack. And in Illinois, 40% of the money that you feed to the state, to these universities, only goes for somebody else's pension. And in Illinois, again, I've covered this before on this show, but it's important to tell people again about it. In Illinois, we are the highest in the country for the amount of state support per full-time equivalent. The highest in the country by a long shot. It's not even close. We're about 6,000 higher than the next person. All right, that's my cue. I've got to take another break here, and we'll be right back with the real story from Jeannie Ives. Don't turn the dial.
The American military brings together brave men and women from across the country who have chosen to answer the call when their country needs them most. At aviatorfuel.com, we know the military because we live the military life. With books written by a Navy pilot and run by a hard-working military spouse, aviatorfuel.com is proud of our service and our country. That's why we never compromise on authenticity. Our cocktail books are modeled off the real Army, Navy, and Marine pilot checklists that military aviators have used for decades. But instead of a procedure on how to handle an engine fire, you'll find the procedure for how to make a mojito. From classic recipes to military specials like the Queen of Battle or the Afterburner, our cocktail books have something special for every veteran. So go to aviatorfuel.com and get ready to raise a glass to the brave men and women who serve our country. That's aviatorfuel.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
We now return to The Real Story. Here's your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right, we still have another hour after from 8 to 9, and I'm having my good friend Alan Skillicorn come in. He is a former state representative. We're going to talk about the Madigan trial because we served during that time frame. And then we're also going to turn, since he now lives in Arizona, we're going to talk about what's happening on the border there and also election integrity. We've got a lot to talk about, and so don't turn the dial. We'll be right back with The Real Story. This is Jeannie Ives. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
This is Chicago's election station, AM 560 The Answer, WIND Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play.
On stage at Madison Square Garden, I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. Former President Trump now delivering his remarks to a full house at New York City's Madison Square Garden.
I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. We need the American dream to come back home.
Earlier in the evening, Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk spoke.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
Trump has suggested Musk could be the Secretary of Cost-Cutting. Vice President Kamala Harris rallying in Philadelphia, saying she's looking ahead to the election.
We like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win.
Election day now less than 10 days away. The latest Fox News poll shows Trump with 2-point lead over Harris nationally. Damage after Israel's attack to Iran's secret military base southeast of the capital, and a base analysts say hides underground tunnels, appears to show in satellite photos from the AP. Iran denies the damage but does report 4 soldiers killed at the country's air defense system. And a member of the British Parliament is suspended by the Labour Party after a video appeared to show him punching and knocking a man to the ground. Surveillance footage obtained by the Mail Online appeared to show the member continuing to hit the man while he was down as others shouted for him to stop. An investigation is underway. America's listening to Fox News.
your official weather forecast.
It'll be mainly clear overnight with low 44, becoming windier to kick off the new week tomorrow, mild with clouds and sunshine, a warm up on the way too with high 68. Cloudy most of the time tomorrow night with a warm breeze, low 62. Windy and warm on Tuesday with sun in areas of high clouds with a high fire risk, high up to 81. I'm Ruth O'Brien on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hut, hut. Listen up and listen up good. If you're tired of run-of-the-mill gifts, then get on over to aviatorfuel.com. You'll find unique military-style cocktail books and barware to go with it. At aviatorfuel.com, we've got the perfect gift for any soldier, sailor, Marine, or just red-blooded American. You'll especially love our military cocktail checklists, modeled off the real Army, Navy, and Marine pilot checklists that military aviators have used for decades. These award-winning books are authentic replicas, but instead of a procedure on how to handle an engine fire, you'll find the procedure for how to make a mojito, written with military jargon throughout. So pick up a cocktail checklist from aviatorfuel.com. Invite some old friends to share war stories over cocktails. Your perfect libation is inside the cocktail checklist. And don't forget matching military-themed barware. Go to aviatorfuel.com and get ready to raise a glass to the brave men and women who serve our country. That's aviatorfuel.com.
Attention parents, your child may be eligible for extra food benefits this summer thanks to a new program. The Summer EBT program will provide $120 per eligible child for families to buy groceries when school is out. These benefits are in addition to free summer meals available at schools, camps, and parks. To learn more about Summer EBT and if your child qualifies, please visit WeGotYouIllinois.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Commission to End Hunger, aired in cooperation with this station and the Illinois Broadcasters Association.
I'm worried about Mom. She's having a tough time moving around the house.
Oh, I know. She still thinks she can do everything on her own.
Exactly, but I've been over there every day this week, helping her navigate the stairs, cooking meals, reminding her to take her medicine. I'm always nervous when I leave.
You know what? I admire you for taking care of Mom. But your family needs you too. And what if she slips and falls? A friend recommended the caregivers at Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. They service Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. They guarantee compatibility and they'll conduct a free safety assessment of her home. Plus, they'll provide as little or as much care as Mom needs.
Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest, offering both hourly and live-in care. Schedule a free assessment today by calling 331-281-0728. That's 331-281-0728. Again, that's 331-281-0728. And tell them AM 560 sent you. Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. Senior care, only better.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
AM 560, The Answer. The Real Story with Jeannie Ives continues on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome. This is The Real Story with Jeannie Ives. Phone number here, 312-642-5600. Thanks so much for joining me on this Sunday night. In this next segment, I'm bringing in my very good friend, Alan Skillicorn. He's a former state representative, and he now resides in Arizona, where he's also... we're still going to get him on the lines, but that's okay. I got lots to preview about that. I know he's teed up and ready. Okay, so let's face it, Trump's winning, right? I mean, the polls keep trending in his direction. In every swing states poll now, Trump is leading. I just saw that flashed up on the Fox News show that I was watching at the same time. And then you've got this. Here's a Real Clear Politics Today. They do kind of a rundown on all sorts of major stories. Just listen to these headlines. John Fetterman says Trump is stronger than ever. No kidding. Kamala's union supporters in Scranton see writing on the wall. Harris seeks suburban swing to offset Trump gains. That's not going to happen. Latino Americans migrating to Trump's Republican Party. Yep. And it just goes, it's just on and on. Yeah. So we've got it's going really good for Trump. He's in a good position to win. And that's if they don't cheat, which apparently they are trying to do. Just the News reported on this. Of course, a number of other folks did too. But they wrote, in a fresh blow to Americans' confidence in elections, prosecutors in a key Pennsylvania county said Friday they had uncovered a large-scale scheme to submit fraudulent voter applications that were collected at shopping malls and other locations. Lancaster District Attorney Heather Adams told a news conference that detectives have found about 60% of some of the 2,500 election registrations submitted in recent days to the county's election office were fraudulent. At this point, it's believed that the fraudulent voter registrations are connected to a large-scale canvassing operation for voter registrations that date back to June. Yep, that's right. Lots of violations going on here, and this is how easy it is to do. She said that they confirmed that the applications have fake names, identifications, and signatures that were used to submit applications and create potentially fake voters were also on there. Real voters' names were used, but the voters said they neither approved nor signed the registrations. So they're simply going down a list of some people that they might know there that aren't registered to vote, and they're just putting them in themselves. At this point, we have confirmed violations of our crime code. So this is criminal, what they're doing, criminal. Yep. Oh, staff noticed that numerous applications appear to have the same handwriting and were filled out on the same day. Oh, no, there's no voter fraud. What are you talking about? There's no voter fraud. No voter fraud in 2020. No, of course. It's all on the up and up. It's all legit. But you know how you solve all this? These people have to have a verified address. That address must be from a residence. It can't be from a business. It can't be from a homeless shelter. It can't be from, a park. It's got to be a residence. And how do you figure out whether or not somebody actually lives at the residence? Well, if you're a precinct committeeman, you can definitely help solve that problem. You can check inside your precinct. Does that person live there or not? Is that an actual physical residence? Now, it gets really easy, though, to add some voters at the end. And then the precinct committeeman who's got the list, maybe they get the list in July, they're getting ready to walk their precinct, and voters just show up on same-day registration, same-day vote, and they don't even know about it until afterwards. And then in some cases, those names are purged from the voter rolls before it's ever found out. And I have proof that happens. We know that the voter roll is purged of people who actually voted so that the committeeman can never actually follow up. And we know that has happened in instances where people same-day register, same-day vote, and they are off the voter rolls within 2 months or even a month.
It's depressing, isn't it?
No, I saw it happen.
Do you want good news?
What?
We have Alan.
Oh, Alan's on the phone.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, to talk about this and what's happening in Arizona in regards to the election is Alan Skillicorn. Alan, thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me, Jeannie.
Yeah. So how is it going in Arizona with your elections, election integrity, voter turnout, and anything else that you've noticed?
Well, I can talk a lot about voter turnout. I mean, Republicans and activists really have worked hard this last, even, not just last month, longer than that, because basically, since, all summer long, they have worked hard. We've been encouraging people to actually get their ballots in. And right now, Republicans have a significant lead in the ballots that are already turned in. Of course, we haven't counted them. We don't know who they voted for, but we do know that the people that have turned in their ballots, there's a primary of people who voted or sent in their ballots or voted in person or dropped them off. Primarily, they are Republicans. There's actually a nearly 100,000 vote lead here in Arizona right now, and that is a big, big deal because in the past, Democrats have swamped and done early voting, but it's this time actually the Republicans are ahead. And as long as we keep our foot on the gas and we keep on doing this, it's going to look very good in Arizona. And we all know that Arizona is, in play. It's a swing state. And from that standpoint, it's the first time that I've really seen a presidential election in a swing state. I mean, there's advertising everywhere. The airwaves are all full of, not just, Trump versus, Cammie, but also we have, Kerry Lake versus the son of a Chicago gangster. And those commercials are on every TV channel, every YouTube, whenever I listen to a podcast, it starts off with these crazy ads. And so that just tells you what a couple $100 million in advertising will do. It just swamps everything.
Yeah, no, well, you know how it is in Illinois. We're getting swamped too by ads. I pull up YouTube, and what do I get? I am not kidding you. I get first-time Democrat state rep candidates running YouTube ads, which are really expensive, running YouTube ads. I mean, that's how they want to win at all cost, and they don't care that they have super majorities. They even want stronger majorities here. The money they're spending here in the state of Illinois to just control it all is appalling. And of course, they're lying with every ad that they put up.
Yeah, and if one thing is of note that if people that are your hardcore listeners would get is here in Arizona, we have a nonpartisan redistricting committee. And one of their goals is to make the legislature and the congressional districts more competitive. But there is in Illinois, that would be a good thing, right? Because the Democrats just draw a really solid map that benefits Democrats. But here, you've got these do-gooder independents that want competitive districts. You know what competitive means? That they're more expensive races. And you know who has the power in more expensive races? The special interests. So, yeah, we have the district that I happen to live in is very, very Republican. So we do not have a competitive legislature race. But just in Scottsdale, just next to me, I've been knocking on doors there, and literally the Democrats and Democrat special interests are spending $2 to $3 million per Democrat in that particular district, smearing the Republicans, lying about the Republicans, and it's a district that leans, 1 or 2 points Republican, so it's very competitive.
That's a state
really
rep? That's a state.
It's more expensive.
That's a state legislative race, or
yeah.
Oh wow, they're spending the money like they do in Illinois.
Yeah, and the legislature pays $25,000 a year here.
Yeah, and they're spending $2 to $3 million to get that seat. Yeah, because it's it's about power and control. And by the way, it's not like the Democrat Party is spending that money. It is what you said. It's a special interest race at that point because it's the unions that are spending the money, and they're giving it to the Democrats, and the Democrats are turning around and giving it to their candidates to win elections. It is a special interest race. That's what it is. It's a game against the people. And everybody needs to be aware of that's going on.
Yeah, and we've got. There's other things that are competitive here. Of course, the Democrats have put a late-term abortion, basically make Arizona the capital of late-term abortions in the entire country. And get this, it wouldn't even be doctors doing abortions. Veterinarians could do abortions. Yoga instructors could do abortions. Chiropractors could do abortions. Dental hygienists actually could do abortions, and they could be late-term. How many? Not only the children that'll die, but how many women will die because of the craziness they put on the ballot here. And that one, we pray that it doesn't pass, but the polls say it probably will. But we do have a couple good ones. We have a proposition that'll actually make crossing the border legally a crime, a state crime, so that our county sheriffs can arrest people. That's something that probably will pass. But that's something we absolutely need here because we cannot let our country just be overrun by invaders.
Oh, well, that is actually happening. And I just did a border event on Tuesday with Rodney Scott, former chief of the Border Patrol, and Sarah Carter, Fox News contributor. Her specialty is immigration right now. Plus, she has done all the terrorism reporting, too. So when we get back from this break, I want to talk to you about that border, and then we're going to turn to the Madigan trial after that. So hold on, folks. Don't turn the dial. This is Jeannie Ives with The Real Story and Alan Skillicorn, my good friend.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by JeffBuysYourHouse.com and by the Kaplan Law Firm.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a doctor myself. I've used it and I've turned a lot of my patients onto it as well. It's a good product.
Balance of nature is becoming pretty important out there to a lot of people. And when I first started, I was really impressed. I'm a healthcare professional, trained as a pharmacist. So anything that's natural, I like. And so it made a lot of sense.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Life takes a toll on our bodies. No way around it. Whether it's sitting hours on end at your computer or working a physical job, over time your body pays the price. There is, however, an effective way to turn back the clock on pain, Relief Factor. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. The difference? Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pains that come with living a full life are affecting you, do as so many others have. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. When you feel good, it's amazing how much more you get out of life. So visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Try it for only $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain. Turn back the clock with Relief Factor.
If you own or run a business and you listen to AM 560, you might not realize that the conservative programming that you enjoy is supported by advertisers. Our loyal listeners love to do business with the advertisers they hear every day on AM 560. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some businesses who avoid advertising with us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our audience wants to support businesses that support what we do and think like we think. We would love to have you join the list of successful companies who are already reaching new, like-minded customers. Most AM 560 advertisers have been here for years for one simple reason: they get results. Join our efforts to make a difference in the lives of our listeners who are passionate about supporting our great family of AM 560 advertisers. To learn more, just visit 560theanswer.com/advertise. That's 560theanswer.com/advertise.
You're listening to The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
Oh, welcome back, and thanks for joining me tonight. On the phone with me is still former state representative Alan Skillicorn. He was a state representative with me in Illinois. He now lives in Arizona, which is a swing state and a border state. And, Alan, we just recently had Rodney Scott, like I was saying before, and Sarah Carter at a border a town hall. It was really, really well done. I want everybody to listen to this clip. This is Rodney Scott.
In late 1993, going into 94, President Clinton said enough is enough. We need to be able to control who and what is coming into our country because the cartels are starting to get control of the border. So we built a strategy to literally prevent crime by building border walls, building technology, hiring more agents, and patrolling the border. We created deterrence to prevent illegal entries. That sounds a lot like immigration, but what it really did was it took away the distraction from the cartels, because the cartels use illegal aliens more than they actually make money off of them. They do make billions of dollars, but that's not the primary focus. The primary focus is they need human shields to be in the first wave so they can shape the border. They overwhelm law enforcement. So every cop on the border gets distracted with that big group of people. And then anybody that's willing to pay the cartel extra money to not be fingerprinted by U.S. law enforcement, or any non-renewable resource. And that's a weird term, but think about this from the cartel's perspective. Human beings, even if they make it, they call home and they tell everybody it worked. Now the cartel has free marketing. If they get caught and sent back, they get them again, they come again. Narcotics, commodities, human trafficking, like sex slaves or forced labor, they're not renewable. They want to keep those. They do not want them to get apprehended. So they keep them back. They push over a large group of illegal aliens into the United States, wait until we're busy, and then they bring that second wave across with very, very minimal risk of getting caught.
All right. So, Alan, is that your experience down in Arizona? Have you seen some of this? And is this, I would think this would be the top issue for Arizonans, but I don't know.
So I would echo those comments, but also emphasize them. So Border Patrol does not stop anyone from crossing the border. Effectively, Border Patrol props the door open for whoever. I've personally been at the border and watched hundreds of military-aged men. And literally, like there was a group of 200, no women, not a single woman, all military-aged men, mostly from Kigali, and basically the Border Patrol agents, they're just there to facilitate it. All they're doing is holding their hands, getting them, across the border, getting them the paperwork they need to ask for asylum. They're not looking for trouble. They're not looking for the people that are committing the crimes. They're not actually doing what they need to do because the Harris-Biden administration got them doing this busy work of letting the third world into the United States. It is a shame. And, we say that we know about 300,000 children that are missing. What about the ones we don't know about? That's even worse, right? And effectively, the Border Patrol is so overworked with just doing this game of letting people into our country that we don't even know about the bad guys. And that should worry everyone. The fentanyl that's coming across, the sex slavery that's coming across. There's some bad stuff, and effectively the cartels run our border.
Well, that's what they've definitely said before. So what's the deal? I would think this would be the top issue. Is it for voters down there, or is it the economy and inflation?
It's a big issue here.
Okay.
Even Democrats say they're tough on the border. I mean, why do you think that Kamala Harris is lying about the border and saying that she wants a strong border? She does not want a strong border. She raised her hand to offer asylum to anyone that comes to the border.
She's such a liar.
That's where she really stands. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If the American public is stupid enough to let her get into office, who do you think she's going to hire to run the border? Who do you think she's going to hire to handle FEMA? Who do you think she's going to hire to do this stuff? The people that do not have our best interests.
She's such a fraud. She's the most incompetent candidate ever. And I wouldn't even put her on a city council, for heaven's sakes. She's awful, absolutely awful. Well,
and it is interesting. So I mean, I talked. So she was a local, district attorney, right?
Yes.
I talked to people that have been local district attorneys, and to think that to do the unmentionable things that she's done over the years has put her on a pathway to be the most powerful person in the most powerful person on earth.
It's a joke.
Scary.
It's a real joke.
I mean, just imagine, but that progression. The county attorney, and then AG of California, and then I always thought the AG of a big state like that would be someone that was pretty competent, right? I would always think that a U.S. senator should be someone who's pretty competent, but she is like the definition of incompetent.
Okay, but honestly, she's just the same as what we've seen in Illinois, and you know this too. They are tools for somebody else's larger agenda, and that includes people like Mike Madigan when he was in office. His colleagues, quote unquote colleagues, his minions were just tools for his bigger agenda, and now it's all coming apparently unraveling. I don't actually know that this ends in a conviction for him, because I think they've got a long ways to prove that some of this stuff, it depends on what's on tapes. We haven't heard it all yet. But, Madigan's facing this child for, and Rick Pierce, the Chicago Tribune wrote this article about the trial. And they said essentially that he's charged, he faces charges he abused his life or death power over legislation, which is true, to squeeze out the ComEd and AT&T in a series of contracts and jobs for his political cronies while the utilities had major legislative packages pending. That's exactly right. That's what he did. He always squeezed everybody. Everybody knew that. And then this article goes on to say that the business of lobbying, the pushing and pulling of lawmakers to accept the position of special interest, gets fast and furious in the state house hallways. Lobbying is perfectly legal, but the lines are blurry, the activity is secretive, and the arguments that carry the day can be cloaked in a separate layer of political haze. I mean, honestly, nothing's changed down there. It's the same. Everybody knew this, right? Everybody knew that ComEd Exxon bailout bill in 2016. Everybody knew exactly that people were getting quote unquote paid off, or they paid off Madigan. They paid him off in campaign contributions to him and his minions, right? I mean, everybody knew this. Alan?
Yeah, it's clear as day, and I can't believe that he's being prosecuted. To be honest with you, knowing how corrupt the system was and how powerful he was, I mean, I really think that the scam of global warming has now come to an end because hell has indeed frozen over, Dee. So those hundreds of thousands of polar bears, I know where they are. They're all residing in hell because hell is now a winter wonderland. Because this is shocking. Can you believe that the all-powerful and corrupt Michael Madigan is going to face justice? I mean, frankly, I didn't believe justice existed this side of heaven, but maybe just a little sliver of it does.
No. I think it's gonna. I don't know that he gets convicted. I really don't. I'm not sure the hell's frozen over yet, but he is getting put on trial. My point, though, is everybody knows what the lobbyists do. Everybody, you can just look at the campaign accounts. They're buying votes. The teacher unions buy his votes. SEIU, AFSCME, Local 150, all of them. It's obvious.
Yeah. Well, when you make government so powerful that the lobbyists and special interests line up to get help from the government,
right?
You know who actually controls the government. It's those special interests.
Yeah, we're ending the conversation just as we started the conversation. That's who's being. There are some good representatives that are independent of their donor class, definitely. Or that don't take those types of donations because, honestly, they don't vote for those special interests, so they're not getting those types of donations. Those are the people you need to figure out who they are and support them further. But I got to tell you, I just think this whole Madigan trial is a little bit of why aren't you looking under the rug right now of what's going down there in Springfield? Last word.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. So much in Illinois, it leaves a bad taste in my stomach.
Yes.
If your listeners live in a competitive district, they need to get out and vote. But there's another thing. If you're in Cook County or you're one of the districts in DuPage that's turned hard left, and you have a winter house in Florida or Arizona or someplace in a competitive state, you need to register to vote in that other state, and you need to not waste your vote in Illinois. That's all I'll say.
All right. He's Alan Skillicorn. Thank you so much for joining me on The Real Story tonight. Really appreciate your insight on all this. And guys, we'll be right back. We've got a lot to talk about with the Edgar County Watchdogs when we get back after this break.
The lineup for Freedom Summit Chicago 2024 just got bigger with the addition of Dinesh D'Souza. He joins Dr. Sebastian Gorka and economist Steve Moore, along with Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, Sean Thompson, John Anthony, Jeannie Ives, and many more. This event will sell out, so get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Aid for Women, Best Dental Group of Bartlett, and by the Michael Alfaro Radio Show.
Fox News, I'm Kathleen Maloney. Former President Trump holding a major campaign rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City and announcing a new policy.
I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one. It's about time that they were recognized, right?
He also promises to launch a program to deport criminals. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris campaigning in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
We are focused on the future, and we are focused on the needs of the American people, as opposed to a Donald Trump who spends full time looking in the mirror, focused on himself.
The VP telling supporters she is optimistic about her chances of winning the presidential race. America is listening to Fox News.
It's Reveille. Transparency is a word we hear a lot, especially with regards to government. What we more often see, however, is opacity, the exact opposite of transparency. Recently, this opacity has been most prevalent in Kamala Harris's responses to interview questions, from reducing consumer prices to policies she's proudly advocated for in the past. VP Harris can't help but regurgitate highly practiced nonsense about a supposed middle-class childhood or deflect by pivoting to a complaint about Trump. This propensity for giving anything but a straight answer has become depressingly common over the years. From various congressional testimonies to talking heads on cable news channels, and now the Democrat nominee for President of the United States, governmental opacity has become the order of the day for many elected officials and their bureaucratic minions. Harris embodies this trend, spewing irrelevant talking points even when tossed softballs by friendly interviewers. This pathological urge to deceive is typical of many political animals. To Harris, spontaneous discussion and straight answers appear to be her kryptonite. Some think it shows a lack of understanding or preparedness. I think that's a dangerous assumption. Kamala Harris has successfully navigated the political landscape with these dishonest tactics for decades. Being dismissed as ignorant is exactly what she wants. It's her bread and butter. She deceives because she cannot afford for the American public to know her honest answers. We should expect this sort of deceit from politicians, but never accept it. With so many incredibly important questions and challenges facing this country, Americans need and deserve a president who doesn't fear honest answers. I'm Jeannie Ives. Check out The Real Story with me Sunday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. and sign up for my newsletter at breakthrough-ideas.com.
The weather is starting to turn to fall, and before you know it, the snow will be flying. Are your tires prepared for the rain and snow? Remke's Garage sells the most popular tire for this Chicago weather, the Toyo Celsius. Why Toyo, you ask? The Toyo Celsius tire has been uniquely engineered to help you specifically navigate Chicago's extreme weather and road conditions. Not only is the tire the most round, minimizing irregular wear, the asymmetric tread design is able to handle the crazy Chicago weather when it starts raining 1 minute, icy the next, and snowing within a few more minutes. Have peace of mind when going down the road that your tires are prepared for the conditions. So, why wait? Stop by Remke's Garage today and let their team inspect your tires and get you on the road with confidence. Visit us at remkesgarage.com. That's remkesgarage.com. REMKES, remkesgarage.com. Remke's Garage, repairing America.
Your local State Farm agent Anthony DeGrotto combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. You can combine your home, auto, and life insurance to not only save you money, but give you the peace of mind you've been looking for. Anthony DeGrotto is your go-to agent in Chicagoland. He and his team will work for you to provide the best service you expect at the price you want. Combine your home, auto, and life insurance today. Anthony DeGrotto will help you mix and match things perfectly. His State Farm office is a top pick 2024 Daily Herald Reader's Choice Award winner. He's a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers and like-minded as you. His State Farm agency is currently looking to add members at their Roselle office. Call Anthony at 847-895-1500 today or visit DeGrottoSF.com. That's DeGrottoSF.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
We now return to The Real Story. Here's your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right. With that music, it's going to be time for the Watchdogs. Before we get to them, we're going to take a couple calls quick. First, Jim from South Elgin.
Well, good show. I was a supporter of Alan Skillicorn for a long time when he was here, and it's too bad he left Illinois. But a lot of good people have left Illinois, which is why we need to change things so we can retain people versus them leaving.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
He's absolutely the case. No, he's a great guy. And also, when you get a chance, people should watch the Trump event today in Madison Square Garden. Pure class, pure class. And also on Urban Talk Radio, I've been bringing up the point, Kamala Harris can't sit there and talk for 10 seconds without sounding like a fool, and you had the Rogan interview for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, no, she's a disaster, and I think everybody knows it now. It's just whether or not people, the left is still going to vote the way that they're going to vote, which is just unbelievable. I mean, this should be a landslide election at this point. She's so awful. She's so incompetent. It's so obvious. that you're literally voting to destroy the country. And if you vote for her, you really are. I don't understand it on any level. Abortion is now decided at the state level. There's anybody who wants an abortion can get an abortion, unfortunately, but they can. It's just unbelievable. Thanks for the call, Jim. We're going to go to Eduardo in Tampa Bay.
Hey, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thanks for calling in.
Much. Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. 3,000 African migrants in Lackland, which is only an hour south of Springfield, as in Springfield, Ohio, right there on 275. And these people, they wanted it tax-free. They're being overwhelmed. They're almost like 10,000. And this is pretty ridiculous. Remember when we had COVID and we had to be spread around, and now it's like it doesn't matter. You could be right on top of each other. It's pretty ridiculous. Hopefully this is going to stop pretty soon. We got the 150K that's been mentioned right there on the Mexico-Guatemalan border.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're waiting to come in.
Waiting, yep.
Yep, they absolutely are. So, hey, Eduardo, thanks a lot for calling in. I appreciate it.
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what came out of our discussion with Rodney Scott and Sarah Carter. Every state supporter state, everybody's affected by this, and these people have been spread out through the country. And in the case of the missing children, who knows where they are, but it's just a travesty. Okay, we're going to turn to the Watchdogs right now. It's John Kraft and Kirk Allen, and I got to tell you, they kind of got their dander up, and I don't blame him, because Rick Pearson, who's just this, this longtime Chicago Tribune reporter, he's been sitting in Springfield forever. He could have easily written articles that changed the trajectory of the state, but he didn't. Instead, he played the politics down there. He's just as much to blame for people like Mike Madigan hanging on for 37 years as anybody else. And then he has the gall to actually write this story called The Government Glut. Illinois has the most public bodies in the nation, multiplying opportunities for graft. And then the article goes on and on about, just things that are happening through all these communities, starting out with, he talks obviously about Crudwell in Dixon, Illinois, and some of the other more famous people. He ends up talking, of course, about Tiffany Henyard as well, a story that the Watchdogs broke. But I mean, so much of this public corruption in Illinois, I got to tell you, I can't blame John and Kirk for getting absolutely annoyed at an article. And by the way, I printed this out. So that I could refer to it. 22 pages of this. How long did it take him to put this together? And how much of it did you just kind of steal from the Watchdogs? Well, John and Kirk, what's your opinion? You read this article. What do you think? Hello?
Well, yeah, I'm here. Thanks for having us, Jeannie.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kirk's on here or not. I just wish that when they would write about all this corruption and give examples, that they would point out which media organizations actually were involved in breaking these stories and causing some of these convictions. And Wapella Township, he mentions Wapella Township north of Decatur, with the road district commissioner who pled guilty to using township credit cards and buying $27,000 worth of personal items to include pet food. That's the guy that bought at least a 30-pack of Bud Light every week for a year, and live chickens and everything else. The township was going to let him just resign and not worry about it until we got involved and started FOIA requesting all the credit card statements and started writing an article about it. Another example is the Keith Freeman issue in Henyard and Dalton and Thornton Township. We broke that, and we are the ones, along with good residents of Thornton Township and Dalton, filed complaints with the bankruptcy trustee with the evidence that Keith Freeman lied to the bankruptcy court. That's why they brought those charges. And it was immediately after we notified the bankruptcy attorney, well, within, a month to 6 weeks, that all those subpoenas were issued to Dalton and Thornton Township.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got your own brochure out here. You expose the College of DuPage board and its president for their questionable spending, hiring, contracting practices, and lack of oversight. And that led, according to your brochure, and it's true, an Internal Revenue Service investigation, Federal Bureau of FBI, Securities and Exchange, U.S. Department of Education, Higher Learning Commission, Illinois Community College Board, Illinois Senate Democrat Commission on Community College Compensation, numerous bills signed into law. I wrote some of those. I authored some of those. I passed some of those. And the college president terminated. That was your work. That was your work that you did when it came to corruption. And what did the Chicago Tribune reporters do at the time when College of DuPage was exploding? What did they do? They FOIA'd behind you. You had FOIA'd the stuff.
Well,
you had written the stories. They FOIA'd behind you. Then they wrote their stories. And then they got some huge, I don't know, journalist award over that. That's what they did.
More power to them. But the real issue with that College of DuPage stuff was all the local reporting in Chicago news and all that. Up until, you remember the lawsuit where we sued along with Adam Andrzejewski to get the meetings moved into a larger space. Up until that, all those news agencies were simply parroting what the board and what the college president was telling them.
That's right.
And
I forgot about that.
That was the turning point with the local and Chicago media that turned from basically supporting what was going on there to actually writing about what we'd been writing about for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, and I'll be damned if Rick Pearson would ever write about the bills that I passed to help clean up COD. He wouldn't do that. Hell no. No. We'll just report that, where is it? Oh, I had it out here. 5,700 special purpose governments, 851 school districts, 861 drainage districts, 838 fire protection districts, la. Right. 8,000 units of government. What do you think? I mean, whatever.
There's way too many. Way too many.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk more about this issue because it just fires me up. Don't turn the dial. It's the real story.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Everything about your product is 100%. I look forward to it. I'll put it that way. I'm 71 years old. Balance of Nature is the absolute best product. I love your product. And you guys, when I call you on the phone, you're the best. So I'm very grateful.
My husband's a retired cop, and I worked in a hospital for years. I'm going out right now because I'm getting ready to paint my fence. It's just literally amazing. And, you watch the TV articles and you go, yeah. Well, at least it's 100% returnable if it doesn't work. I'm not kidding you. It is the most amazing product I've ever taken.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
You're listening to The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right. Welcome back. We're still on the line. We're still talking with the Watchdogs, and we're kind of poring over this Rick Pearson Chicago Tribune article about the government glut and corruption. He's just going on and on when actually Rick Pearson hasn't actually uncovered any corruption himself. He just simply put together the story. So, Kirk, what's your take on this?
I think the saddest part of the whole thing, I mean, I appreciate that, the information's getting out there that we have a problem here. I think most everybody already knows it. Mm-hmm. And he does point that it's a culture, the Illinois culture is part of the problem. It doesn't offer really any solutions, and that's we the people. When we started Edgar County Watchdogs, it didn't take us long to realize that what we were doing, we needed to train others to do, and that's why we put together American Watchdogs. And that training organization has trained thousands of people all over the state. And that's what it takes to hold your local government accountable. And it's disappointing with all the work we've done in 14 years, nobody even reached out to ask us a question. And they did cite some of the things that we did. And it's not so much looking for credit to it, but there's so much more that needs to be focused on, and that's a solution. And without offering solutions, what good's it do? It's a report for the day, and it'll be read by a bunch of people, and then everybody moves on. It's really sad that, people don't understand there is a solution, and then they're the ones that can do it.
Well, it's also interesting to me that this report is coming out during the middle of the Mike Madigan trial. I mean, literally, you could have put this report out at any time. It could have been an annual report, as a matter of fact, about what's the latest corruption stories. The top 20 corruption stories around the state of Illinois. They could have just done their end of year recap, right, on it or whatever. But no, it's coming out during the Mike Madigan trial, and it's there for a purpose. Like, they want to feel like they're on the side of good versus evil, of, we're on the side of the little guy. We're the ones who want to root out corruption. And honestly, they let Mike Madigan sit there for 37 years. They know exactly what's going on. I just read from that previous story about Mike Madigan's trial and them trying to explain how the lobbyists have all the power down there. No kidding. And you know about it. And you've never written about that either.
It's interesting. You mentioned the Mike Madigan trial. Mm-hmm. There's actually a trial going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, downstate, we don't hear anything about it. It's covered up in your northern Chicago, area, the northern market. Downstate, there's nothing. I mean, zero coverage of it. We have no idea what's going on with it if we don't tap into the Chicago news.
So do you believe that they just think that he's some sort of Chicago Democrat rather than having been the most powerful speaker in the entire country and the longest serving speaker in the entire country? Do they not understand that the power that he wielded against in every single corner of the state against millions of people? Do they not understand that?
Yeah, we understand it, but I don't think the downstate media and the rest of the public, we're not getting any news on it. In fact, I have coffee regularly with some guys at the church in the morning, and it's shocking when I said, "Hey, Madigan's trial starts Monday," and they're like, "You're kidding? How'd you find that out?" Nobody's covering it, and it's like, okay, it's just another day in Illinois. It's back to the culture of corruption.
Right, and so he'll get whatever he gets. He'll get whatever the jury decides. And honestly, I don't know that they're going to decide that he actually did anything illegal. I think that they quite possibly could be acquitted. But my whole thing is like the broader story is not being told. And I said this before. The corruption is ongoing. It's a corruption of a moral code. It's a corruption of not telling these stories. And that's part of the media's problem too. They don't tell all the stories that they should be telling.
Frank Montino. Is he going to be a witness in the Madigan trial?
Oh gosh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I mean, that guy still has a job with the state. He's still our Auditor General. The Supreme Court ruled that what he did was a crime. And what's happening? Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, and he was one of Mike Madigan's top henchmen. That's what I'm saying.
Is he a witness?
Yeah.
Is he a witness against Madigan? That's what I want to know. We still don't know. We don't have a witness list. We're not hearing anything downstate. How did Frank Montino get away with what he got away with? He was cooperating with the U.S. attorneys, and nothing happened to him.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one. I don't know. But you're right. There's so much more to the story than what Pearson's put out, and Pearson, he knows exactly what's going on down there. But the corruption continues because the special interests run this state.
Right.
So
I mean,
what's
how
your
many
record?
years has there been there's been a resolution you take a vote to remove Frank Montino as Auditor General. Has the Democrats ever pulled up that resolution to vote on? Let the people know where these people stand. They don't want that vote. They're not going to do that vote. He's got 2 more years making a small fortune, and we're going to pay for his retirement the rest of his life.
He'll start out with $130,000 in retirement easily. Scumbag. There's a lot of them.
Unbelievable.
There's a lot of them. Mike Madigan is the top one. He's the top scumbag, but there's plenty more below him, and the corruption continues to the day. They are buying policies left and right, and those policies are detrimental to the lifelong prosperity of this state, period, full stop. All right.
Well, if we don't have state's attorneys that are going to do their job, it's just going to continue to get worse.
That's true. Absolutely right. Okay, that's all I got time for you guys tonight. Thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. That story will continue.
Thanks for having us.
To cover it. Thank you for all the work that you do. You guys are just heroes. All right, we'll be right back.
With Cybersecurity Awareness Month winding down, LifeLock wants to remind you to update your software. These updates are used to patch up security issues that identity thieves can exploit to gain access to your personal info. But for comprehensive identity theft protection, there's LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to more uses of your personal info and fixes identity theft issues that arise. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use my name as your promo code, Clay.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynovite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
If your approach to everyday aches and pains is to mask them, feel better for a few hours only to have the pain return and then repeat the cycle all over again, it's time to try Relief Factor. And the good news is Relief Factor makes that easy. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it. How? Well, its unique formula of ingredients helps support your body's response to inflammation. Relief Factor was developed by doctors. It's 100% drug-free, and for so many people, the results are game-changing, even life-changing. So give it a try. Right now, their 3-week quick start is just $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. See how in a few weeks or even days, Relief Factor can reduce your pain. When you feel better, life is just better. So don't mask pain. Fight it naturally with Relief Factor.
Now, more of The Real Story with your host, Jeannie Ives.
All right. Wow. I can't wait for about 8 days now until we get a new president because there's so much that needs to change. One of them, of course, is this whole transing of our youth. And it really hit home this week in Naperville. Indian Prairie School District 204 recently notified parents that Steve Sabovic, a male staff member, would now be addressed as Miss Madison Sabovic, using female pronouns. That's right. This is absolute gender indoctrination. So that's what they're doing. And they brought him there, and they basically sent out a list of instructions to the teachers about how to address this. And that said that they had a talking points memo that directed staff on how to respond to student questions and statements with answers including, remember our LMC director is now Miss Sabovic. Let's support her. And just like how we each choose our clothes and hairstyles, our LMC director chooses how she expresses herself. You just absolutely cannot make this up. So Indian Prairie School District, it's includes Naperville, Aurora, Bolingbrook, and Plainfield. It's one of our larger school districts in the state of Illinois. And this is, oh, by the way, this is happening at Owen Elementary School. Owen Elementary School. Where only half the kids read or do math at grade level, by the way, but they've got this stuff going on. Talk about sick. I was asked to respond for a DuPage Policy Journal. Is the only area that I've seen this story published, by the way, the only outlet that I've seen it published in, because nobody else seems to want to talk about it. But, I said, honestly, to me, this is compelled speech, sexual indoctrination, and the planting of lies in young children's minds. And so I encourage parents actually to sue the school district over this issue. There was the case in 2021, Merriweather versus Hartop. That was a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court of Appeals in the Sixth Circuit that supported a professor's right to refrain from using a student's preferred pronouns, stating that mandated pronoun usage infringed on free speech. They could probably do the same thing here. You're mandating that they call him or her. Now, in that federal lawsuit, they actually said the professor agreed to just call them by whatever the name is that they wanted. That's less offensive. But honestly, this is happening in elementary school, not a high school, where kids may be even a little bit better able to handle it, even though they shouldn't have to, but in elementary school. Talk about sowing confusion. Sowing confusion in children. The principal should be ashamed of himself. The superintendent should be ashamed of him or herself. This is terrible. It's happening right here in the state of Illinois. Who's running for school board? That's what I want to know. Who's going to take back their school board? Because guess what? You have to start filing right now. That's all I got time for tonight. Thanks for joining me on The Real Story with Jeannie Ives. We will see you next week after the election. Yay.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
The former president rallies supporters in New York City. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. Madison Square Garden is known for big events. Today, a big rally took place.
Trump supporters have packed Madison Square Garden. I asked them what issues are important to them. Derek from New Jersey told me he's supporting the former president because of his stance on the economy.
I am a teacher, and so I actually work 2 extra jobs, and I only had 1, so it's been rough.
Some had other concerns.
Stop all the wars, bring back good economy, finish the wall, deport everybody back to the country. They're not creating jobs, they're taking jobs away.
Trump hits all my issues. That's what I love about him. He says exactly what I want to say. He's not afraid to talk. He talks to the American people, for the American people.
At Madison Square Garden, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Vice President Kamala Harris beginning her Sunday at a black church in Philadelphia.
Vice President Harris at the Church of Christian Compassion in West Philadelphia emphasized more than once that 9 days remain before Election Day. She did not mention